You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bring that beat back. Welcome back to another episode of the Fourcast. We'll be the Threecast probably tonight. We'll see if we'll get an appearance from Doc in the flesh, the one and only. But back again with another great episode. And before I get into this, for those that say we only do pro-black movies and yeah, we've been on this horror kick, we doing something sappy as hell tonight. So I don't want to hear nobody else. When I say nobody, I'm talking about somebody that live with me. But anyway, we
wow,
we're doing a movie called His, Hers, and Ours, and this is a rom-com. I would say it's basically a black rom-com. Taye McMillan, excuse me. She was the writer of Waiting to Exhale. Also, what was the other one?
Stella Got a Groove Back.
Stella Got a Groove Back, which Taye Diggs was in as well. So we're viewing that tonight. It's on Netflix. It's top 10. So we're going to get into that and break that down, give our thoughts on that. Once again, good to see y'all. A-Trap, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
Good. Man, is you about to get that AARP in a minute.
That, baby. I'm 5 years into that, baby.
Oh, you already got it. Okay.
Right.
See, you can get all the
man
specials at Denny's and
maybe I ain't never paying no full price at the movies ever again.
What's going on, Wilkes?
Oh, doing all right. Hanging in there, man. Ready for this quick review tonight, man.
Yeah, man. It's not a lot of meat to it, but it was good. I'm not gonna say. Let's get into some kind of initial thoughts, and we'll pick back up on our routine that we were doing. You can give your pre-show review. So I'm gonna come to A-Trap. Give me your initial thoughts and give me your pre-show rating.
Pre-show rating 4 stars. I enjoyed this. It was a layered. I didn't just see this as a romantic movie. I saw it as a layered story. And as we communicate about it, I'll unveil the layers that I saw. I didn't just see this as romance. I didn't see it as comedy at all, but it was a lot of layers in this. And I traditionally don't like Taye McMillan movies because she usually draw men as horrible individuals. And this one, she made Taye Diggs a pretty honorable homeboy. And so I enjoyed it.
Okay. All right, Whoops.
Oh boy, let's see. It was rough. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it was done pretty good. I mean, we've seen these movies, especially around the holidays, especially around love is sparked during loss or trauma, something like that. Not always the kids kind of leading the way and then the parents kind of hitting it off, but yeah, I think it was, for what it was, I think it was done fine. I gave 3, but I gave 3 mics, but it's one of those things where it's like A-Trap said. I mean, there's a moment in there where my daughter's getting ready to deal with high school right now, so it's just like all the things with high school. It can either swallow you up, or you can embrace it. It can be some of the best times or the worst time in your life. But so yeah, it was a lot of different things in here that I saw.
Yeah.
And especially with the culinary passion between the pasta making and then the distillery and the bourbon. So there was a lot of different little things that kept me interested because they were kind of going in and out. Of course, the bourbon pasta was kind of like bourbon pasta.
Yeah, that was different. Yeah, I definitely wanted to get your thoughts on that. Have you had a bourbon pasta before?
I have never had a bourbon pasta. Most pastas don't contain any kind of, unless you use wine, but other than that, most pasta dishes don't contain anything like that. But it can be used. It can work.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that caught my eye was the Halle Berry lookalike in this film. It was almost like we can't get Halle Berry, but whoever was directing this, we got somebody to look. If you look at an angle from the side,
certain angles,
it looked like Halle Berry,
especially the older Halle Berry.
Kind of her or Zoe Saldana. It was kind of like a mix between those two, but she did a good job. The acting was well done, except the father of the young man. It was like, where you get this cat from? Yeah. Where you get this cat from? Because that was a little.
He was.
It just wasn't, to me. It just wasn't believable. Let me get to a comment here. Good evening, fellas. I watched this movie over the weekend. I wanted to hear from the brothers about this movie. Appreciate you for tuning in. Jeff Short, thank you so much for that. And we could give it to you honestly. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. We don't really sugarcoat anything on this show, so we could give it to you. And this is and I'm gonna come to you, A-Trap, in a minute. But this is a family film. You can watch this with everybody. Your wife, your daughter, your kids, everybody can sit down and watch it. A couple scenes where you got to say look away for a minute, but for the most part, it was giving you some wholesome vibes. But A-Trap, what's your thoughts on the acting level?
Just a second. Thank you, Alfred.
Look like you got a pina colada tonight.
No, that ain't a pina colada, bro. Shout out to just all I'm saying. Shout out to Fly Tie.
Okay.
If you know what Fly Tie do for me, you know what's in that. I thought the acting was great. Like you said, the father played a horrible role, but it goes right along with the Terry McMillan character. It's always just a trifling homeboy in the movie, but that's what Terry McMillan does. But I think it was a well put together film, and like I said, it was a layered film. So that's what I really want to talk about, how many layers it was. And it's interesting that you said the family aspect. I do believe you should watch this with your family because it was a bunch of underlying messages, and that's what I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah. And so kind of the gist of the film, the story follows two single parents, which is Taye Diggs and Lesley-Ann Brandt, who start a secret romance after their teenage children begin dating each other. So on one side, you have Taye Diggs, where his wife passed away from being sick of cancer. And then on the other end, you have Lesley-Ann Bryant, basically her husband. It was an absentee father, and he ended up stepping back in. And so that's where the dynamic kind of came in at. Which, when you kind of get into the opening of the film, it's the white Lesley-Ann Bryant pulling up to Taye Diggs' house, like, hey, this is the situation. His car is here, and I have a daughter, but I'm not at that stage. Thank God that I'm not like dealing with that. But A-Trap, I'm gonna come to you. Maybe you have the eldest daughter. So have you had any situations where you had to run in with a guy?
Nah. My daughter won't even introduce me to cats. I remember once I was on my way in the house, and she didn't see me, and she made my man wait a block away from the crib. They were going to the movies, and I'm just driving down the street. I see her telling him, "I'll be right back." He's at the bus stop.
They're right here.
Of course, I was being me. I said, "Hey, you need a ride?" I said, "Where you going?" She's like, "I'm going to the movies." Hey, I can drop you off. She's like, "No, I'm cool." So, nah. And recently, my daughter had a friend, and she was like, "Hey, be nice." I'm like, "What do you mean, be nice? Just don't be you." I was like, "Nah, I can't do that." So,
yeah, I can't not be me.
Can't be serious.
Yeah,
right. So that means if you think he ain't gonna cut it, that means you look on your standards, and so nah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't have that problem. My daughter, she's had like 3 or 4 boyfriends, and I met one. He was cool though. I liked him.
Yeah.
She kicked to the curb. So shout out.
Yeah, man. That's just one of those situations where you obviously you're a kid, which is you get to the layers part of it. Like you willing to do anything for your child, and if that's fighting somebody, if that's making this kid walk home, that was the situation. He parked his car in the driveway, and he was like, "Nah, you just gotta walk, bro. It ain't that far. The neighborhood's safe. You just gotta walk."
Yeah. Right.
What's that? I would say that's definitely a black parent thing. You see, it could have gotten worse than that in some situations. Yeah, he could have pulled out the 9 on him.
Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I was speaking about, the layers, and you should watch this with your children. And as we proceed through the reviewing of this film, it is something that you and your children can have a conversation about. And this is, to me, this is what this brand of, this is what Black cinema used to be. This is what Black entertainment used to be. We used to consistently have messages and have conversation points. And I believe this is why our community was more close-knit. We've gotten further and further away from this. We want to be action adventure. We want to be the hood. Everybody in the hood ain't struggling. Everybody in the hood ain't thugging. So, some people in the hood love their parents and their parents love them. And then they have cantankerous moments in regards to the relationships between the parental guide, from the parental perspective and the child perspective. So that's what I really enjoyed about this film, because sometimes you don't have to tell your child everything. Your child needs to understand that some things you don't need to know. I need you to trust me, and vice versa.
Yeah. I need you to do this because I said so. But also, I'm telling you to do this based off of experience, which I think the dad was trying to get across. Like, hey, and the mom was trying to get across. Like, I had to struggle to get you to this point, paying for you for school. Your dad wasn't helping with anything. And so for you, it's easy. Like I'll say for my daughter right now, it's easy. She don't have to worry about what I have to pay for. She don't have to worry about bills. She don't have to worry about how stuff's gonna get paid. It just appears and it's there. Wilkes, what's your thoughts on that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there, but I had a family member that has, and didn't go too well. But yeah, it's one of those moments where you think because one parent is not there, I wasn't trying to do this. You don't see everything because I wasn't there. You don't know. This is a stay out of grown folks' business kind of thing. It's like you don't know what me and my mom, but you and your mom had to do, and things we sacrificed, what she sacrificed. Her being, then they mentioned the poor health that she had, but no, this is definitely a teachable moment. Because it's like, hey, you don't know what the consequences is of having this boy over here at the house, or you going to his house, or you thinking you're in love. He's the only guy for you, the only girl for you. That's complex. That's heavy stuff, man.
Yeah. And at that young of an age, because you don't really fully understand.
Right.
You understand emotions, and so whatever you see is like, I'm in love with her. I'm like,
but it was nothing that I've experienced directly, but I've seen it around me. I've had it in my family member, but our family. But yeah, those moments, like I said, those are teachable moments. Sacrifice and things he's trying to redeem. The fact that his company got bought out at that age and retired already. Hey, that's a significant accolade, man. That's huge. That's big. That's a lot of sacrifice to get your company in a position to be noticed by another company, to be purchased, and be bought out rightfully. And then leave you with like, hey, this is what I can do. I could stay retired, or I can start a new chapter. I can do whatever I want after this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Kind of an example.
And if we go based off of Taye Diggs' actual age, which is 55, like that's like almost that's young 12 years from now. I mean, that's young. Yeah. So I mean, like you dealing with a real midlife crisis, because this is your business and they're basically trying to push you out. Yeah. And you got your daughter who's being a teenager and wanting to do her own thing, and I'm in love, and
man, and
smarting off, like not understanding both sides of the story. But go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, and this is my issue with parenting today. Sometimes you just need to be quiet. I understand that we don't want to stifle our children. We want our children to be intelligent, not just obedient. You have the right to challenge certain things, but you don't have the right to challenge what I'm doing in this house. And that's what a separation seems to be. And that's what I truly enjoyed about this. And another aspect is this. It truly takes a village to raise a child. I think that was his mother, and she helped him with his daughter. And then you got on the male side, you got to see the rough and tumble business of being a mother and the sacrifices that women make. And it took a page out of my actual life. Of course, I would have never turned my back on my mother. My dad died before I was even birth, 4 months before I got here. And that's what really struck me about this. I had a moment with my mother around her birthday one year, and I got her a gift. And she said, I'd never had this. And she had been purchasing that gift for me since I was 6 years old. I was 24 years old at the time. And I was like, you've been buying this for me since I was 6 years old. She was like, yeah, you thought they came in, buy a child size, get an adult size free. And my entire life flashed in front of my eyes. And it made me realize, wait a minute, she's never actually told me no. Her no's were, I can't afford that. But my mother was so stern. No was it. And it was like, hey, can I? No. Let's go. And that's why this movie kind of touched me, because at some point, even, and I guess I don't want to pat myself or break my arm, pat myself on the back, but it definitely made me, that moment made me respect my mother even more, because I was like, wow, you got me things that you got up and went to work for. You took care of me and my sisters, and you got us those things, and you never even got it for yourself. So this is why at some point as children, we need to, as younger people, that's why I would say, watch this with your child, so your child can see, just because you don't know, that does not mean that something isn't happening. And this movie showed that. That's why I enjoyed every moment of this, because it showed the ignorance of adolescence. It shows the stick-to-itiveness and the stern and the love of a parent. And that's why I really enjoyed it, man. That's why I was feeling it, because I've experienced it.
Yeah, and you made a great point as far as the grandmother. That's Juanita Jennings. She's been in a ton of different things. I'm sure we've all seen her in something.
That's one.
Runaway Jury. What'd you say?
She was the mother of Antoine Fisher. Nigga.
Oh.
That's all she ever gonna be to me.
But yeah, that village is real. I mean, like that's why it's vital to have your aunts, uncles, grandparents, neighbors, church members, like whoever it may be. You need those people, because they also give your child a different perspective, and it's probably going to be about the same things that you were saying, but it's coming from a different voice. So they hear it from a different voice, and that also gives them, I think, some confirmation of like, oh, my parents weren't just telling me to do this just because. So, shout out to Trey Naturals in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get to this question from Jeff Short. He said, if each of you were in Taye Diggs' character, would you pursue the relationship even though y'all kids were in puppy love? That's a great question. Hey, Trav, go ahead.
It's Wilkes. Wilkes, you go first. Alfred just hit me.
Yeah, possibly. Especially for me, especially from a culinary standpoint. I mean, if you've got, my business has already been purchased. You're trying to get your business out there. If I've got something that's the business side of the relationship, but if that's something I want to pursue for her, because I've been there, and I've seen that side of business. But as far as hitting it off, and this might be a new spark for me. Maybe I've been alone, or I was scared to get out there because my wife had passed, or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, it wouldn't go well, but hey, we gonna see.
Yeah. That's definitely a tough one. I don't think I would pursue it while she's there. When they go to college or when she's gone, I think I would pursue it at that point. But while she's living in the house, I don't think I would.
Well, since I took the hit of that Alfred, well, that's what we got. We different, guys. Again, shout out to my mother. Because, see, the one beautiful thing about Dolores and that is this. That's my mother. She prepared me for every phase of life I could ever come across, including this. I remember it's a totally different scenario, but it fits. What her explanation fits. I remember we were at a department store. It was a suede jacket that I wanted. It was only like $150. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this. I said, I should get this. But BJ and Bria may need some shoes. She was like, get the jacket. I was like, nah, the kids might need this. Kids might need that. She said, Brian, you can afford it. Get it. And then she got frustrated, like my mother would. My mother is extremely stern. Get it. And I wouldn't get it. And she got the jacket for me and gave it to me. Slick jacket, tan, suede jacket. It was cool. And then on the way home, she said, let me tell you something. You make a home for your children and a life for yourself. At some point, your children are not going to be in your house. She said, when the last time you come over my house just to hang out? I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a little better. She said, no, that's not why I'm asking you that. She said, you are living your life. That's what I raised you to do, to be your own person. At some point, your children are going to leave your house. And that's going to leave you and her or you by yourself. And then what are you going to do? Because you've invested infused your entire life into raising your children exclusively. So go back to the original question. Yeah, I'm pursuing that relationship because my relationship with my children has nothing to do with my relationship with my romantic relationship. If you're a true adult, what you do is you have these adolescent children or young adults, however you want to deem them, and you keep that separate until it matriculates into something special. And then when it matriculates into something special, then you can share with the child. I think far too many times, again, we incorporate or inculcate our children into our adult lives, and they don't need to be there. Our children need to be in a child, as they used to say, keep that child in a child's place. You don't need, I've had women stop speaking to me because when my children were very small, hey, I'm going to come over and hang out with you with your kids. Ha, no, you're not. No, you are not.
Right.
I'm not gonna meet my children because I know I'm not hanging out with you. We hang.
You know this ain't serious.
Yeah.
So
I think far too many times we love our children to the point where we stop living. We have to continue to live because if everything matriculates the way it's supposed to, your child is by the time your kid 14, they won't be bothered with you anyway. Right. And you cool till you about 11. And now,
hey, drop me off at the corner.
Once puberty's into the picture, you are invisible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing it, man, because I got to live tomorrow. You know, we talking about tomorrow, not today. My kid is not going to be 15, 17, 19, or 15, 17, between 13 on turn high school, 13, 14, or 17, 18 through high school. No, they're not going to be that age for long. I'm doing me. I'm going to love you to pieces, but I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you look at this film, and what's up, Big Mo? Thank you for tuning in. When you look at this film, the backlash was the high school, and they ended up posting it and all that kind of stuff. But anybody that's been in high school,
right,
or anybody that's been in school, period, that's only gonna last for so long. And then the next thing is gonna happen. Somebody gonna get into a fight, or something else is gonna be the story. Yeah. So like that doesn't last forever. But
you slap them chumps in the eye, and that's the story. I'm just saying, man. I'm a former football player. You run up on me with that nonsense.
Yeah. And that was a weird, awkward like push that was going on right there. But yeah, I think you got both sides of it. Yeah, when you look at this film, though, in particular, the young lady was like, I don't think I'm gonna be with you forever. Like the light bulb kind of came on for her when she realized like everything her dad is sacrificed, and how her dad needs this in his life to kind of help him go to the next chapter. So that was a good part of it. Now that conversation that they had, would have had done it with everybody there, or would talk to your child separately? You remember the lunch that they had with both kids was there, and
I don't think I would have.
No, I don't know if I would have did it with the other child, but then again, that might be a smart way to do it as well. Because look, at the end of the day, our children are human beings, right? They are young people. They are younger versions of us. They are her and him equals one, right?
Yeah.
That's when 2 + 2 is the only time 2 + 2 is going to ever equal 1 when you're looking at your child. And we can pretend that these young people are not going to be experimenting physically. More than likely, they're going to do it. You know, you get a rare situation where they, no way.
Yeah.
But more than likely, they're going to happen. And so why not have these conversations? I don't know if I'd have did it together, because I'd have wanted to talk to my man. And I wouldn't have been trying to bully him. Like, look, my man, are you ready for this? And again, this is where I was saying, this is why I really appreciate it, because we're talking about a village. He had a conversation with his daughter and this boy at the same time, letting them know, hey, I know what time it is. That's what I'm saying. That's why I enjoyed this film. It tackled parenting from a helicopter perspective. They were looking down on parenting and watching the landscape of parenting. The grandma sticking up for the dad, the mother relenting, understanding that if I push super hard, this might destroy my relationship with my son. So it's a lot went into this, a lot of thought went into it. I'm not quite sure. It was very intense, but the movie, you can only get so much out of it.
Yeah, it's only so deep. And this is one of the pictures right here where, like, the daughter's like, so you telling me y'all dating? And then the next question was, I mean, y'all not like get down, are y'all? It's like, well, no, yeah. They get mixed answers. So
yeah.
So they I think that
now they the parents.
Right, exactly. It's nasty. I don't want to be caught up in this. But like everything, anything that your initial response is going to be shock and confusion and frustration. But just like with anything, you deal with it. You sometimes you got to face it. You got to realize, like, this isn't just about me. And I think that's the other part of this that goes into this whole story in this film, is that it's not always about you. The sacrifices that your parents make, yes, it is about you, but eventually you got to realize, like, it's not all about you. And they were both single, both single parents, both only children, which that my daughter got that bad too. You just it's gonna be natural that they think everything is theirs, but it's just not.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you raising children, like in this situation, you're not asking me no questions about my personal life, man. We talking about you. I govern you. See, again, man, this is where we need to get back to. I don't want my child, like, I literally forced my son once to snap on me because I wanted him to know you can talk, you can express yourself. I pressed him. He started yelling at me. And his mother's like, you can't yell at your father. I said, no. I want him to be able to express himself. And he was breathing hard and everything. And he was like, I said, it feel better, don't it? He was like, yeah. I say, good. Now, we can have dialogue now. You can have dialogue, but it's to a certain point. You're not gonna ask me about my sex life. You're gonna ask you can't ask me about my dating life. Are you seeing anybody? Yeah, didn't I tell you? No, must not be your business. And that's how we're gonna proceed with that. But again, man, stay in a child's place. It's not your business. Right. But what I'm doing over here is look, that has nothing to do with the lights, the gas, the food, your schooling, and the way I rule over you, where I rule over this house. You are here to do the best you can do and be the best person you can be, not govern my life.
Right.
And that's where, this phrase that I hear a lot. I just want to give my kids more than what I have. You know what? One of the biggest things my mother loaded me with was the ability to cognitively think through anything. My mother at age 12 literally told me what was going to happen in 2010. She prepared me for the day she died. She talked to me when I was 12 years old about her dying. I was like, hey, you sick? She's like, no, you be a grown man when this happened. So walk them through that. And again, this is why I enjoyed the film more about the parent, and I saw myself, my cousin Vincent, my cousin Mike, Lil Vince, BJ. Me, Mike, and Vince raised each other pretty much. We listened to our grandfather, we listened to our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our uncles and aunts. But our granddad, my granddad George Williams Sr. was our de facto father, and we made plans at 12, 14, 16 years old. We gonna do it like this, and it just manifested. BJ had an affection for Vince. All of them liked Mike because Mike was just he'll just talk. Me and Vince Mike talked, and me and Lil Vince and Lil Mike, we had a connection. So me and Vince were yellers, but BJ thought Vince was the coolest dude in the world. To this day, Lil Mike calls me, what's up? We were so close that when Vincent was unalived in 26, while back, he said special cousin in the obituary. Mike and Vince run up to me. You're not our uncle? I said, if you want to give me all that money I've been getting you back, yeah, I'm your cousin. If you want to keep getting the money, I'm your uncle. And he was like, what up, uncle? So it's just a family dynamic. And again, that's why I appreciated this film, because it was family more than the love story. The love story was ancillary for me.
That's a good point. And so when you look at the dad, and this is probably the underlining scene where he goes to stay with his dad. I think as a young man, I haven't been in this situation before, but we've seen it in Boys in the Hood. That would be like another kind of example. That was more of a positive one. But staying with your mom, and at some point, like, look, I want to see what it's like. Like, the dude wasn't there. Let me see what it's like. I'm sure Ali Sadiq also did with his special. He did that too. Like, going to go stay with his dad, and he like the drug runner. He looking out for his dad, and his dad not really parenting. So this scene right here, I'm gonna pull this picture up. I thought it was. So this scene right here, where he's kind of on his face, he can realize like, this ain't working. This ain't working out. Like, what I thought was gonna be cool, I allowed this situation between my mom and Taye Diggs kind of get to a point where I just want to move. and he in the background on the phone with the Modelo's box in the back. I'm like, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Right.
Oh, you had a Modelo's box in the back, and he making egg. What was it? He was making eggs with a plastic fork. And
I don't know what was happening, but but even before that scene where he told him, until you came along, you were more. Your mom felt like you were more important or something like that. When he first stayed with him.
When that was at the hotel.
That was at the hotel. Yeah, they were playing the game, and you could tell then the look on his face, like, dang, I'm the reason why, because I came along. And they just kind of shrugged it off and got back to the game. But yeah, you knew it was coming. It was already foreshadowed.
Yeah, it was the writing was on the wall. Like this just ain't gonna work because you've been with his mom. You've been. He was like, you just being spoiled. You was given everything. But she was giving them the real too, though. This was you think of movies, this had a little bit of that Pursuit of Happiness. If you remember that scene, they were like staying in the
depot
bathroom and all this different types of things. Like it's a struggle sometimes that goes along with it, but our kids don't really realize it because they don't realize how much of a struggle it was or what it took. To get you to that point. So it was a necessary evil to have in the film. I just think the guy's acting was just not. It just wasn't.
Yeah, the acting was not great, but then again, that may have been.
Maybe that's what they told him. I don't know, but
no, man, it was poor directing. Because I'm a firm believer in poor acting is a result of poor direction. When you can make Ice Cube, who no disrespect to Cube, I like Cube. Don't get me wrong. But he's a limited actor. But when he's directed by Singleton, he looks like he's know what he's doing. When he's directed by whoever else. Ice Cube playing whoever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and to touch on this thing with the father thing, again, it goes back to the family aspect for me. And the reason I say the family aspect is it takes a village. I suffered with father issues. I had insecurities as a young man. And this is why, like this whole, have a father in the house. You don't want that dude in the house with the child.
Nah, not that guy.
That dude in the house with the child. You know what I mean? Charles Manson grew up in a two-parent family home. John Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, two-parent home. Did that work? Did that work for America? No, it didn't. I grew up in a single parent home, not by choice, not because they couldn't get along. My father transitioned. So, but, and I'd like to hear you guys' perspective because you guys, me and Wilkes has a child separate from his marriage. How do you deal with these situations? Is it something that we need to work on to ensure that, look, I may not even, we liked each other for 45 minutes one day. Let's just be honest. Sometimes I like you that day.
Right.
But should we or should we not break our backs to just put on a united front, or should we just try to parent separately? How do y'all see the co-parenting thing? I understand, being that you are in a nuclear family, so I understand you're speaking from perspective, but I'd like to hear you and Will's perspective in regards to that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Will.
For me, it's definitely trying to prime example because it was about 30 minutes we liked each other, but it was one of those things where, hey, this is the way I always said, the way I govern you and act when you act here, I expect you to carry that same respect and attitude back to your mom's place. Now, don't get me wrong, you're gonna always have that kid that knows that I act like this over here. It's a little bit more lax, a little bit more lenient. But I know when I go over here, it's brass and tacks. But I also would let my son know, like, I'm not stupid. I know you're going to act like this over here because I'm going to bust you in the face. But when you go to your mom's house, I need you to act the same way. You need to clean up. Just like you clean up over here, pick up your clothes. You need to pick up your clothes over there. I don't want to hear or get a text message or a phone call saying, well, he was being disrespectful. He didn't pick his clothes up, or he hadn't cleaned in 2 days. No, we're not finna have two sides of this situation. So we always made sure that when it came to our son, that first of all, me and her on the same page. Whatever we did those years ago, we were at each other's throats sometimes. That's BS now. We have a kid now. You got to grow up a little bit. And the kid is going to know. The kids are always watching. So the child's going to always bring something back to you. Well, you remember this one time? And then you'll be like, yeah, you know. But, yeah, I try to make sure that it's level as much as possible. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some things I can't mirror because I'm not there physically. But he knows enough that, hey, you don't play that over here. I don't expect you to play that over there with your mom. So I definitely try to keep that because I don't want it to be like, oh, yeah, you can eat cereal and leave the bowl on the table and whatever. Nah, man, if you're going to eat, I need you to clean up and put it where it goes so we can wash it or we can put it up. I want you to do the same thing when you go back to your mom's place. And that's pretty much how I tried to do it because my mom did me like that when she would send me to my dad's house. I already knew when I got to my dad's house, it's going to be brass and tacks. Now, my mom's house, of course, but it was still lenient. I mean, there was still firmness there. I wasn't going to be running amok. I wasn't going to be throwing tantrums in the middle of the floor. I wish I would bust into a tantrum. How
to get these hands.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, even with that home training, I knew that I had to step it up a little more at my dad's because there were some things that my dad just wasn't going to tolerate. You know, sleeping late and stuff like that and staying. Oh, no, God, you're not going to sleep in. What is sleep in?
What is that?
What does that even mean? You know, so, yeah, I just tried to do the same thing. Like, whatever I did here, I wanted him to take it back with him in reverence of respect your mom's house, respect your mother. And I'm you know what? And I'm going to say this. I wanted him to respect her better than I respected her.
Preach.
So it was one of those things where it's like your mom is doing all these things. Andre, I'm not there, man.
Yeah.
I was only there for some amount of time, but it's like I want you to take this back and respect that woman because she's doing a lot for you. And that's really that was really the driving force was like I didn't respect her enough, but I'm gonna need you to respect her enough. And that's just how I did it. But
yeah. No, that's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously number one would be communication. Like as long as, like you just said, as long as you're on the same page and you're able to communicate what's going on.
Right.
One of the radio shows I listen to in the morning, the guy I've been listening to this guy probably at least 10, 15 years now. But at the point when I started listening to him, he was married. He's got 2 kids. You fast forward to now, he's divorced and he remarried, but he gets his sons like on the weekends. But for him, it's like I can't be Mr. Lenient because my ex-wife is dealing with them Monday through Friday. Teenage boys, they got phones.
Exactly.
Like I have to be
I can't be the fun parent.
Right. I can't be the fun parent because then when they go back, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, we just did whatever. You let me drive his car. Like we was doing all types of stuff." So like there's a level, definitely, like you said, Wooks, it's a level of respect, and it has to be, set. So, yeah, I think that I definitely agree with what you said, Wooks.
And like with me, the way I see it, I'm gonna be a little crass. I ain't gonna get vulgar, but just look at it from a genital perspective, or a physical perspective. Most of our body parts are rough and tumble. We are hard body. Women are soft and cuddly. So when you're dealing with your mother, it's going to be a softer, more giving, receiving situation. And when you deal with your father, it's going to be in your face.
Oh yeah,
we're just genetically predisposed to be that way. And I think at some point, when we are in these co-parenting situations or single parenting situations, that's why the mother played a major role, in that situation. The grandmother, rather, his mother,
Right.
played a major role in the daughter situation because she could relate to the daughter, but I also raised your father. On the other side, this is why your uncles, your big brothers, your cousins should play a major role. My Uncle Rory, my Uncle Theo, my Uncle Richard, my Uncle Stanley, my Uncle Otis. And then on the other, that was my mother and my father side. You know what I mean? So I had these men in my life that understood, like, hey man, I will put my hands on you.
Right.
And well, contrary to popular belief, no disrespect to the beautiful women who are raising these young men. I don't care. My mother was super dope, but it came a point where I was bigger than it. Mentally, I didn't get this. Y'all ready for this? Mentally, I didn't become taller than my mother until I was 26. I've been taller than my mother since I was 17. Right. Such a giant figure in my life. I was 26 before I realized, literally 2 weeks before my 26th birthday, I was like, I'm taller than you. She's like, you've been taller than me for 10 years. Shut up. but she was such a giant in my mind that I never tried her. But it did come a point where I'm like, lady, I'm not dudes down for fun. I play football. Do you know how many people I knocked down this week? Like, come on, you can punch me. Once my mother socked me in the eye. Only thing I remember, I snuck in the house. She popped. I don't know if she slapped to this day. I don't know if she punched me in the eye or I just saw a flash.
Like,
back.
Y'all hit me.
Turn it back in our bedroom. But outside of that, you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
You know who could hurt me? My Uncle Richard. Because I was at the best, I'm 5'10" right now. My Uncle Richard was 6'3". God rest his soul. He was 6'3". My Uncle Richard came with the West House Vocational High School and shot me too, real quick. Boom, boom. And told me, I'm taking you out when you get to the crib. I'm like, so again, man, this is why I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't the cuddly. No, it wasn't the cuddly. It was the family dynamic. And it showed hopefully it showed a lot of these women that you need your brother, your uncle, your cousin, because you might just date a Woodrow. My man was a straight Woodrow. You gotta leave the crib, you gotta hit this brick. I'm finna bust down this chick. Boy, if you don't get your goofy, but
really.
But you know what?
You got high school friends, right? You can go and stay with one of their houses.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get there. You can figure it out, man.
I've never met that dude, but that dude might exist.
If that dude does exist.
God gave you cousins and uncles. Cousins. Because your son needs to be, again, that's what my cousin Vince, that's when Vince stepped in. Me and BJ had a cantankerous time. I was the bad cop at the house. And he couldn't hear me, but he heard Vince. He really heard.
Who was probably telling them some similar things, but it was from somebody else.
Yep. We talk about it now. My son literally tells me now, he's like, you know what, Pop, man, I like our relationship. When I was about 16, I'd have pushed it in the street if I could have. We laugh. I know. But again, guess what, though? When he was 12 and my daughter was 8, I say, dude, like around from next year until you're about a junior high school, you're going to hate me. I said, you're going to hate me. I said, but when you're a senior, you'll understand. And that's exactly what we came around. So, man, that's why I like this so much. I gained a newfound respect for my mother. And now I see why, like, I gravitate towards people who remind me of my mother.
Yeah.
That's, dude, to this day, I've owned one pair of Air Jordans and somebody bought them for me. Simply because 1984, I asked for a pair of Jordans. She said, them $100 shoes? I said, yeah. She said, when the hell is he going to wear some Bryans? I was like, man, you ain't $50 for them Adidas, man. I still got a pair of Adidas in the room right now, man. But it's that balance, man. And that's what I enjoyed about this movie. Yeah, it was cool and warm and fuzzy, but I appreciate the grandmother checking Taye Diggs. Hey, man, you need to get your lady. I appreciated the friends. That's something else I really appreciate. Her friends encouraged her to be what she could be. Not, I'm lonely and miserable. Won't you be lonely and miserable with me until I find Tyrone next week, and then I'll forget you, girl. You better get you.
Right.
I love that. I lived that. So you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I appreciate that. And that's why I enjoyed this film, because it like I said, it was layered. Person to person, adult to adult, parent to parent, love interests, and it was just, it was just a situation where it was real life slapping you in the face. It was real life.
And if you, yeah, definitely in a couple situations. Now, I'll say probably a scene that they could have did without, and we may all agree with this, is when that kid, little Johnny, was running out into the street.
Right.
And they just like, I don't even know what the point, I don't understand what the point of that scene was.
Hey, I think that's what I've been talking about the whole episode. Lil Johnny didn't have that extra person. The village wasn't with Lil Johnny. Mm-hmm. I think they were saying, okay, we got my man on this side. He got the super mom.
Yeah.
You got the dad who sacrificed everything, but he got the grandma. Lil Johnny is really a metaphor for, in the event that you don't work together, this is what your child is in imminent danger at all times.
Yeah, it was the timing was off.
It
was like, oh no, he's about to get hit. He wasn't even in the street yet, and it was already like
was going to get shot because the way they kept looking at like it was a drive-by. So
I thought it was Boys in the Hood. But Ricky runs some zigzags.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was a metaphor for without proper guidance and leadership.
Yeah,
Johnny runs out in the street. And I think it was perfect timing. And I could be wrong. I mean, I ain't smartest dude in the world. Smartest dude in this body. That's all I am. But I think it was perfect timing simply because we are looking at situations when danger shows up when it show up. It don't show up when it's perfect. Because if it showed up when it's perfect, we all just grab our kids.
We all be ready. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a metaphor. Like, I think it was metaphoric.
And the fact that they kept going, they didn't even stop. Make sure he was okay. They didn't even stop.
It was like, once he like picked him up, and the dude was like 10. Like, why are you picking this little boy?
Hey man, hey, no joke, man.
You gotta make sure he good.
Illinois was watching. Big Illinois was watching. Me and Big Illinois used to stand in front of the crib all the time, and we saw little Johnny run out into the street. He's a little badass kid, man. He's popping. And he ran out in the street. And Big Illinois to this day teases me because little Johnny was picking at me, and he ran down the street. And he ran into the car and broke his arm. And I'm horrible. And I laughed at him. I laughed at him. He was cool.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. Like Big Illinois turned to me and said, "Boy, you going ahead." But but still, but there was these other young men.
Yeah.
Who would hit us. And I used to play with them and keep them out of trouble. So no, I think it was perfect timing because it was just to show you without that. But think about it, man. Little Johnny didn't have his grandmama. He didn't have his daddy. He didn't have his mom. He just was out
there. He
was
out there kicking it.
They
were telling him to stop, but he's still going.
Exactly. He was like Ghostface running wild like a child on the walker. Man. Yeah. And that's what I think that was about, man. I thought it was perfect.
I didn't think about that at all. I felt like that was a throwaway scene. They could have put that in the deleted scene.
I was like, who's gonna get shot? Because the way they were showing it.
Yeah, if you think about it, the backdrop is really the love story, the young people love story and the adult love story. It was really parenting 101.
That's really, you're right. Yeah. That's a great point. That's really what it was coming down to. And then they kind of flipped the script. I mean, I was like, okay, this film it's gonna be pretty predictable. And then they came with the father of the bride like slide in or them taking the pregnancy.
Yeah. Now that they could have done without.
Yeah, that part was
yeah.
But I think in that particular scene, they were trying to show that, hey, these two people that don't really like each other could somehow get in a room and talk out their differences and not mean that they like each other a ton more, but like they're both in a situation where this is about to affect both of us in a lifelong way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that part kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah, they could have kept that.
But that that was the Lifetime moment.
Yeah.
Hey, this was a Lifetime movie. Like somebody was gonna die or somebody was gonna get pregnant. Or it was bound to happen at something. So
I hate keep harping on this village thing, but hey, man, think about it, man. I want think about this. You have this affluent parent, these affluent parents, but this affluent parent of a male child. Most mothers would be like, "Told you she wasn't no good," but instead of you ain't no good, she cuffed her, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let me love on you for a little while.
Right.
You definitely made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but hey, we both literally in this situation together.
Being this together,
Right.
and that's what I'm saying.
Taking pregnancy tests. Oh.
Yeah. I saw past the romance, and I saw the family aspect of this. I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about, because it ain't enough young ladies with women who gonna do that. You know, I ain't got nothing bad to say about nobody. You know, I ain't gonna have a hell to put nobody in. You know, the membership I had on the ownership of hell I had, I gave it up for my driver's license. But I really appreciated the fact that they showed this lady who, in most movies we've ever watched, that lady was, see, told you she wasn't no good. She's just trying to trap you. She's trying to get my money.
Yeah.
I'm not finna put you into that trick bag. I'm finna, and this allows children to, again, it was a moment with BJ. BJ got suspended. We were on our way to Disneyland, and BJ got suspended the day before we left. We were leaving anyway. He wasn't gonna be in school the rest of the week. So I was like, don't you worry. And he thought I came to school on the warpath. I'm like, oh God, this is the wrong parents. Y'all call it wrong. The milk gone bad. That's the wrong one. And because I was king of the class clowns, I'm in the class clown hall of fame, class of '88. But Mr. Gray, he sat there and lied on my son. And I'm like, and B just started to explain. And I did what my mother would do. Shut up. BJ like, oh God, I ain't gonna.
Here we go.
And we left out. I say, see, BJ, that's why you don't lie, man. He said, what you mean? I said, he was lying on you, man. I keep telling you I was the class clown. I could have taught you this. You didn't even have to go through high school getting suspended this many times, getting in trouble this man. I could have told you that. I could have gave you the
Right.
Gave you the rundown, man.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I was rooting for you, but you didn't want to hear it. You just heard mean guy. So that's what I'm telling you, man. This is what I really liked about this. And then the Taye Diggs, the mom character. I get tired of this. You gotta be through somebody through seasons and look, man, it is what it is. And I'm saying this as a jaded individual. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't be doing that, but I'm like, do what you do. Yeah. All this fodder about how to handle yourself. No, dog. Sometimes it happens. I'm a firm believer in the history. History teaches you things. And, y'all know I'm a history buff. And I gauge everything on my grandparents. My grandparents played a major role in my life. And when I look at my grandparents, so I look at my granddad. My grandfather, only time I saw him outside my grandmother's purview is when he was on his way home. My other grandfather, Richard and Dolores, I only saw them together. My great grandparents, Theodore and Esther, I only saw them together. So what are we talking about? But it just, man, we've gotten into this psyop. That's what we're in the midst of a psyop. Oh, you gotta do this and blah 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 blah. No, man. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. And if you feel me, do your thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And when I first seen people talking about this on social media, I thought this was His and Hers, which was that series with Tessa Thompson and the Punisher cat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's already been out for a minute. But then I kind of looked into it a little bit further. But Terry McMillan also has another movie called Forever, which Taye Diggs is in as well. So it looks like Taye is kind of going into that director or producer type role now. I mean, shout out to him. The dude's been doing it for a minute. A lot of classics, a lot of classic films that we've seen and enjoyed. So, you know, this film definitely, like you've been saying, A-Trap, was the romance or the rom-com was one part of it, but there were so many other layers to it, which I definitely did appreciate. It's definitely one of those you can watch with your family. It's there's some lessons in there. You know, you could say a black after school special type situation, like how not to get in these situations and how to talk through these situations. And I also was gonna say, even in a 2-parent household, the uncle and all of that village is still important, because they again are gonna give you a different perspective, and they're gonna probably show you some things that that you didn't realize, and some things that may help you, you know, further along in life. So I shout out my uncle Clinton that I probably talked about before, but he definitely gave me different perspectives, definitely showed me things that, you know, it's helped me to this day. So
yeah, man, those uncles, those aunts. My aunt Hattie, my dad's younger sister, she's only 10 years older than me. I used to be definitely afraid of her, but we connected. I thought she was mean, boy. I thought she was mean, boy. And like I said, man, I one of the greatest things in my life is I've had a front row seat to excellence and chaos and everything in between.
Everything in between.
And that's what this movie showed us, man. Like you said, we laying down with roaches and
right.
You know, again, man, shout out to my mother. I ain't realized that we were even, I don't like to use the term poor. Financially striving is what I use on my podcast. I didn't realize we were financially striving until I was not, when Todd was killing it at this point. Like I told you, my mother's birthday, got a gift. She said, I never got one of these. And I was like, hey, you've been buying me this as a kid. And then my whole life flashed in front of my eyes, man. So, yeah, man, it's just, we need more films like this, you know. And I get it. Initially, you think, this sappy love story. Get up out of here. But that's why I enjoyed it, man. You know, it's just, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was more than the love story. I mean, even just immediately watching it, and then, you know, I felt like also their passions for just pushing themselves. You know, he owned the business, he sold the business. She's talking about the second act, and he's like, "Well, hey, you might be right." And you know, I think the love story or the love aspect was just kind of there to springboard it, but the rest of it was really just people being humans outside of work.
Thank you.
Dealing with real life situations with teenagers.
Right. Because you still got to go home to a daughter that's stumping around like she paying bills.
Right, exactly.
The son that's going, I'm going to play basketball. I got a car, you know, that kind of thing, you know. So,
and so it definitely ended on a high note. They end up coming back together, going into business with each other, and so the ending, they did a great job. I think they did a great job with the ending. It wasn't too drawn out. It wasn't like now they're married. I mean, because you know you don't know,
right?
You know you don't know what could happen, but yeah, it was the ending was well done, and it's pretty much available everywhere. Actually, it's on Netflix, but it's also on some other platforms. But let's get into some final thoughts. I think we A-Trap, you gave it a 4, and Whoops, you gave it a 3. I'm gonna go about in the middle. I'm gonna say a 3.5. But the presentation and the message that was in this, I think, was definitely better than probably any Lifetime movie I've ever seen. I haven't seen a lot because they were just way too over the top drama, and this film didn't have that. So I did appreciate that aspect of it. I definitely think this is. You talk about rewatchability. I don't think I would watch it again. Maybe with my family, somebody that hadn't seen it. I just wouldn't sit down and say I'm gonna rewatch this movie. But if my parents are like, hey, we want to watch it, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it with y'all. That's one of those situations. But any final thoughts, Wilkes?
No, not a lot of them. I mean, like I said, I think at the end of the day, it was really just showing them outside. We're two successful parents. We got trauma, but at the end of the day, we also have kids that depend on us. Right. And at the end of the day, you're just being human. Yeah, I think you're just trying to navigate this life without your helpmate or your partner, And my daughter thinks I'm a tyrant. My mom, the son saw his mom working hard all the time. Yeah. Versus where the daughter, oh, you were never here. Yeah, I'm working. On his side, on the son's side, it's like, oh yeah, I see my mom providing for us. I see my mom. You left us, and my mom made sure that we had things that we needed or I needed. So yeah, it was just. I think it was just a life. Kind of a life lesson thing. It was just them being human and, I got a business, we're successful, but at the end of the day, I still got to navigate stuff outside of the business, which is my children, my child,
Right. Still got to live life, still got to manage day-to-day things.
Right.
So, yeah. A-Trap, any other final thoughts?
No, it was excellent. Tribute to parenting, tribute to family, tribute to love. And I think we need more movies like this simply because, again, man, it is a tradition in Black cinema and Black television and Black music to teach as well as entertain. And this is entertaining as well as teaching. Art itself, I'm not going to limit it to our culture because I learn great lessons from all in the family as well. So I learned, great family perspectives from all walks of life. So I'm not just gonna make it Black, but I definitely think this is neat. It was needed, it was warranted, and it was well done. So I appreciate it. And then I went in with a bias, knowing it was a Terry McMillan film because she usually put me in a headlock and man. Choking out.
I always, every time I hear her name, I just kind of chuckle because growing up with her in the 90s, but my dad swear that's our cousin, but I'm like, I don't know. I was just like,
hey, when I waiting to exhale, that was like, man.
Right.
I mean, in high school, that was like all the girls' anthem. I'm like, you ain't ever been married, right? You ain't dealing with none of this stuff. So
stop. Yeah. We're crying over Tupac. Sit down. R.I.P.
You never met. Ever.
Yeah, ever. Tears. Full tears.
Well, see, that's the great part about growing up in the 80s. We just like Tootie and Janet Jackson.
There you go.
Nobody died.
Right.
You're right.
Justine died when we was in college from Family Matters. Old girlfriend. That was in real life. From cancer. That was it, man. My generation better than yours. That's what I'm really trying to say.
Exactly.
You was born in the 70s. We were more gooder. That's all. Y'all childhood had stars dying, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They was dying or going crazy, one or the other.
Going to jail and now we ain't do that from the 70s, man. We live forever, man. We just dying now. Look, Todd Bridges still alive.
Yeah.
After all those drugs.
Now Gary,
1986, ain't no way you'd have said Todd Bridges is gonna be the last one standing.
Gary Coleman, Gary Coleman.
That woman killed Gary Coleman. Lady, we know you watch.
Oh, man. You know she did.
We ain't forgot either. We ain't forgot either. All right, so let's hear from about our sponsor. Shout out to Sheer Alternatives. The Texas toothpaste. They do toothpaste, mouthwash, sea moss. They're in Forney, so if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can come there or go to their website, sheeralternatives.com. Great company, well managed. They're also at the Dallas Farmers Market as well, so definitely another spot to check them out. All right, so coming up next week, we're gonna play the preview of next week's film, and then we'll close it out with that. But A-Trap, go ahead and close it out.
Hey man, thank y'all for tapping in. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tap in. Comment. That's what we need y'all to do. Comment. Thank you for the subscribers that I had this week. Thank you for the 100 subscribers. Y'all all right, man. Forget what I said about y'all mamas last week. Don't count. But on the serious side, man, subscribe to BS3. Subscribe to the End of the Bench Media, BS3 on Roku, BS3 on YouTube, BS3 on Facebook. Do the same thing for End of the Bench on Facebook, End of the Bench on YouTube, End of the Bench on Instagram, so forth and so on. Everything we do. He Ben, he Wilkes, I'm Rap. 2 fingers, 1 word, and we are out.
Peace.